Oriental dance, which takes its name from the Arabic raqs sharqi meaning the dance of the East, goes as far back as ancient Egypt and is based on the temple dance performed in celebration of the gods and goddesses. The wide variety of different forms and styles of Oriental dance are clear evidence of the long road over which it has travelled, which almost certainly followed the Silk Route. It's clearly inspired by Indian dancing, and India was probably its birthplace. But it also draws inspiration from many other sources, including gypsy dancing and that of Andalusia. The true origins of the dance are not documented, and the only accounts of it which do exist, such as the personal reminiscences of soldiers in the armies led by Napoleon Bonaparte and Marshal Lyotte, have all contributed towards giving it a very false image. During the 18th and 19th centuries, people began to distinguish between various different forms of Oriental dance, and several written accounts appeared. But its evolution really began in the 20th century, through the influence of Egyptian cinema. Nowadays, there are more people performing Oriental dancing outside of its country of origin. This is especially true of Europe and the United States, where it's becoming more and more popular. New schools are opening up every day, catering for both men and women, and for people of all ages and types and all ethnic backgrounds. One of the attractions of this form of dancing is that each and every participant, male or female, can develop his or her own individual style. Until quite recently, this dance was thought of merely as a cabaret show act. But today, thanks to all the new dance schools which have opened up, it's become more acceptable. Like any other dance form, there are a number of different techniques and steps which you need to master if you're going to perform it well. And it's now being taught along academic lines rather than being considered as a form of free expression. Myriam Douiou has been performing Oriental dance for 20 years, and she spent the last 14 years teaching others. She runs courses catering for pupils at all levels, and also organises training courses for professional dancers both in France and abroad. In 1998, she founded the Aswan Company, which specialises in Oriental dance and regularly stages performances in France and throughout the rest of Europe. Myriam Douiou has drawn on both her teaching and her theatrical experience to prepare two courses, one designed for complete beginners and the other designed to improve and perfect Oriental dance techniques. Both courses are suitable for men as well as women. Her programmes are not intended as a replacement for an outside course. Their aim is to provide you with the basic foundations of Oriental dance, so that you can repeat and perfect each movement in your own home. In order to perform Oriental dance in comfort and safety, it's essential to methodically carry out a series of warm-up exercises before you begin. Always start by concentrating on the upper part of your body, then gradually work down until you reach your toes. Begin with your head, then move on to your shoulders, your torso, your pelvis, your legs, and finally your feet. This course will have the following structure. We'll begin by working on various sequences and then look at some different travelling steps. Then we'll concentrate on shimmies and shimmy variations. And finally, we'll look at sequences on various different camels. Each movement will be presented in the following way. It will initially be shown in slow motion, This will give you the opportunity to watch each movement closely. You'll then carry it out along with me, and I'll explain each stage of the movement. Finally, you'll repeat the same movement to music, along with my pupils. At the very end of the programme, I'll be showing you a choreographed sequence made up of the movements you've learned during the course. I'll perform the sequence twice, commenting on the movements the first time through, and then repeating the sequence without a commentary. We're going to begin with a warm-up. Lift your chest, really contract your abdominals. Let your head drop gently down and bring it round in a complete circle. Concentrate on taking big breaths. Change sides. Really relax as you go backwards, forwards, and to each side. Really lift your chest, round your back, stretching each side well, and open your arms, bringing your shoulder blades together. Open up your sternum, round your back. Make your chest as open as you can, look upwards and close up again. Concentrate on keeping your knees well bent and above all on breathing deeply. Stay as relaxed as possible and open up as much as you can. Now straighten your legs. Stand up straight and rotate your shoulders backwards, one after the other. Bring them back as far as you can. Now change direction and bring them forwards. Rotate your shoulders forwards, one after the other. Rotate your torso to the side, forwards, to the other side and backwards. Put your hands on your hips to help you. Try not to move your pelvis by keeping your abdominal muscles contracted. Now change direction. Keep your legs straight and push out as far as possible to each side, and as far as possible towards the front. Only go a little way back so that your back doesn't bend. With your hands on your hips, bring your legs a little apart and stretch to the side, keeping your legs straight. Push, relax onto your leg, come back to the front and to the other side. Stretch out in front of you. Now begin again on the other side. Stretch. Keep your back really straight. Relax onto your leg and come back to the centre. And stretch, trying to keep your back quite straight. Now start again on the other side. Stretch. Keep your back quite straight. Relax onto your leg and come back to the middle. Now the other side. I'm now going to bend one leg and then the other. You don't have to go down very low. The important thing is to keep your feet flat on the floor. Go down gently so that you don't hurt your abductor muscles. Go down gently, bending your knees. Come back up and bend both knees. Slowly come back up, swinging your torso well out to the side. Slowly straighten your legs and bring them together. Keeping your legs straight, draw a circle with your toes. Your legs should be straight but not stiff. Work with one leg first. Shake the foot a little and then work with the other leg. Sit on the floor with your legs stretched out. Sit up straight. Now I'm going to gently relax my chest down onto my legs. If you're not used to doing this, do it very gently. It isn't necessary to go down very far, and there's no need for it to hurt. Pull. Pull your back down and relax. Use your arms to help. Now bring your legs apart. Don't worry if you can't do this. The important thing is to keep your back straight. If you aren't able to do this, you can stay in this position. For those who can, go down as far as possible, trying to keep your back really straight. Now stretch to the sides. Change sides. Really stretch your arm out, and then come back down. One side and then the other. Relax when you come back to the centre and stretch well out to each side. Think about your breathing and relax. Bring your feet together. Bend one leg and bring the other leg over. Try to keep both buttocks on the floor. Put your elbow round the opposite knee and look as far back as possible. Change sides and use the other leg. Bend your leg, bring the other leg over. Put your elbow round the other knee and look as far back as possible. Bring your feet together, keep your body quite straight, and relax your wrists and fingers. To relax your hands, imagine that you're kneading dough in your palm. Really relax your fingers. Bring your head to one side, then the other. Push with your ear and try to keep your chin parallel to the floor. Open up. Try to stand up without using your hands. Standing sideways, go down by pushing your knees outwards. Keep your body quite straight and raised up on the balls of your feet. Now completely relax your pelvis, remaining up on the balls of the feet. Rely on just your knees to keep your body upright. The warm-up is now finished and we're ready to begin dancing. Forward and back leg movements linked to the Oriental twist. Watch this movement very closely and notice the arm gestures. Bring one foot forwards, cross it over behind and twist the other hip. Bring your right foot forwards, cross it over behind and twist your left hip. Now do it faster in time to the music. You can vary the movement by crossing your foot over and turning. Forwards, cross and turn, and bring your foot down. Turn and bring the other foot down. Right leg forward, right leg behind. Turn on your right leg and bring your left leg down. Left leg forward, left foot behind. Turn and bring your right foot down. Right leg forward, right behind. Turn on your right foot and bring the other foot down. Left foot forwards, left foot behind. Turn on your left leg and bring the other foot down. Series of hip movements in the air. Notice how I transfer my body weight. Just watch without doing anything. Using your left leg, do a hip lift and drop in front, in the centre and behind, and bring your foot back down. Now the other leg. Lift your right hip in front and lift and drop it twice. Now in the centre. Lift and drop your hip twice. Bring your foot down behind, swing your body weight over, and then come forwards again with both feet flat on the floor. Steps for changing legs. Notice the way you move your arms as you change legs. Forwards, backwards, forwards. Take little steps. 1, 2, 3 in order to change legs. Go forwards and back. Let your pelvis really relax and use your knees to take the series of little steps. Forwards, bring your foot down behind. One more time. Come forwards, take 3 little steps with your feet side by side. Change the position of your arms every time you change legs. And behind. Bring your foot down in front. Open up. Forwards, backwards, forwards. Hip drop with pelvic rotation. Concentrate on keeping the top part of your body absolutely still and totally relax your pelvis. Use your knee to drop your hip on the same side and rotate your pelvis in the opposite direction. For example, if you're dropping your left hip, you'll be turning towards your right. Concentrate on pushing your pelvis out as far as possible so the rotation is really pronounced. Now we're going to change legs and turn in the other direction. Drop the right hip and turn to the left. The rotation always goes in the opposite direction to the hip and to the right. Camel sequence, hip movements and turns. This movement tests how well you can balance and how fast you can move. After the hip drop, you have to make a very fast turn and begin to move again straight away. Step towards the right on your left leg and to the front. Move your hip and turn to the right. Now move towards the left. 2 camels. Bring your leg behind, move your hip twice, and spin out and round to face the front. Ready to start again using your other leg. Left foot, camel. Move your right hip. Turn towards the right, 1, 2. Begin again straight away using your right leg. Forwards. Move your hip, 1, 2. You can do this exercise with a camel shimmy. Camel shimmy, camel shimmy. Move your hip twice. Turn and start again from the beginning. Twist, turn and back shimmy sequence. Watch how my feet are firmly planted on the floor as I dance, and that I go up onto the ball of my foot as I begin again. Also notice how I dance facing the front, and then turn my back. I begin facing the front. Do a series of movements in the air, and then turn your back. Twist twice to the left, bringing your leg back. twist your back, and shimmy with your left leg. Start again, twisting twice on your right foot, bring your left leg behind, twist, and shimmy with your right leg with your back turned. Twist twice to the right. Turn to the right and shimmy with your right leg. Twist twice with your left leg. Move your left hip, turn towards the left, shimmy with your left leg, and come back to face the front. Sequence of hip movements, shoulder movements, and turns with a pause. A series of movements in the air to indicate the change in movement. Continue with movements in the air, and mark the pause in the music. I drop my hip as I bring my foot forwards. I'm now going to relax my shoulders, turn and pause. Standing sideways on. Move your right hip forwards, to the centre, and then back, and bring your right leg down. Shoulders, turns towards the left, remaining sideways on, and now pause. Move your hip and then bring your body weight down onto your right leg. Turn sequence, Badi stops. Make a series of movements in the air during the fluid sequence and suddenly stop your pelvis during the strong sequence. The two movements should contrast with one another. Upward figure 8, turn to the right and pause. Upward figure 8, turn to the left and come to a stop to the left. An upwards figure 8. 1, 2, and pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, and pause. A figure 8 in slow motion. A fast turn, a stop to the side as you move outwards. A figure 8, open up and pause, level with your arms stretched upwards. A figure 8, turn and stop. Your arms should be by your sides as you do the figure 8. They open up as you turn and they're held straight up as you pause. double backward steps with hip drops. Note how relaxed the pelvis is. Just watch without doing anything. Walk backwards. Just as you're bringing your other leg back, come back to the side to do a hip drop. Step back onto your right leg. 1, 2, 3. Bring your other foot back and come back to the side for the hip drop. You begin again on the same leg you've just brought back. Drop your right hip and begin again on your right leg. 1, 2, 3. Bring your foot down behind, return to the side, drop your hip. Try to bring your arms into play like this. 1, 2, 3. Return, hip drop. 1, 2, 3. Behind, to the side. 1, 2, 3. Behind, hip drop. Travelling steps with abdominal stops. Just watch without doing anything. Watch how I transfer my body weight and concentrate on bringing your abdominal muscles into play. Go up onto the balls of your feet and contract your abdominal muscles as soon as your body weight is transferred onto your back leg, keeping your feet as close to the floor as possible. The abdominal stops go inwards. Afterwards, we'll be repeating the same movement with shimmies. Rise up onto the balls of your feet and contract your muscles as soon as your body weight is on your back leg. Contract your muscles as you move back and relax them as you come forwards. Keep your feet close together. Hold yourself up straight and raise your arms up high. Try not to let your buttocks stick out behind by contracting your abdominal muscles each time you transfer your body weight onto your back leg. Sliding steps. Note how still the top part of the body is. Just watch without doing anything. Keep your feet close together, with the knee of your back leg touching your front leg. Go up onto the balls of your feet, bring your arms up parallel with the floor, and move along making a series of tiny steps. Go up onto the balls of your feet, bring your arms up parallel with the floor, and move along making a series of tiny steps. Slide along smoothly, taking tiny steps without shimmying and without relaxing your pelvis. This travelling step can be varied, like some of the camel walks, by tracing a figure 8 on the floor with your feet, swinging your pelvis out well to the side. You should aim at keeping your torso and your head very still and let your pelvis swing out to each side. Badi style figure 8. Note the momentum which you can give to this movement. Trace an upwards figure 8, keeping your feet flat on the floor. Listen to the music, and when it's appropriate, transfer all your body weight onto one leg. Bend right down and get as near the floor as possible. Open up your arms and come back up, drawing an upwards figure 8. Transfer all your body weight onto one leg and come back up, drawing a figure 8. Bend your knees as much as you can and fall down and come back up with an upwards figure 8. Try to make the figure 8 as small as possible so that it's very concentrated. Have a good look at these two diagrams. On the right-hand side, the hip lifts up, and on the left-hand side, it drops down. High hip lifts are carried out through a combination of the foot position and the knee action. To lift your hip up high, one foot needs to be flat on the floor and the other raised up onto the ball of the foot. The raised foot, which is behind the other foot, combined with the knee action, causes the hip to rise up high. Lift your hip once, and again. Now do the same thing using your other leg. The front foot is flat on the floor, and the back foot is raised onto the ball of the foot. Concentrate on relaxing your pelvis. Do 2 lifts. Concentrate on holding your chest up high and your body straight. The more you contract your abdominal muscles, the more pronounced the hip lift will be. We'll now look at the Badi hip lift shown in the diagram on the right-hand side of your screen. The Badi hip lift. Unlike the previous hip lift, both feet are kept flat on the floor this time, and the movement relies only on knee action. The front leg is used this time rather than the back one. Both feet are kept flat on the floor and the hip on the same side as the front leg lifts up. I stretch my leg out twice, keeping my body upright and looking straight ahead. Stretch your front leg out, and again, once and twice. If you want to move backwards, you can do the same movement with your back leg, keeping your foot flat on the floor. And straighten, and again, bend your knee, and again.
عشمتني سهرتني عشمتني سهرتني ولا انت داري عشمتني سهرتني ولا انت داري عينيا تسهر تقول لي قلبي ما كنت داري.
The camel beginning at the sternum. A very important feature of Oriental dancing is that you move each particular part independently from the rest of your body. This is especially true of this particular movement, where you should try to keep your pelvis and torso quite still. Stand up straight and try to just move your sternum. Push, relax, push, relax. You can use your chest to help. To see whether the movement's correct, try to go down and then come back up by just using your knees. If you're doing the movement correctly, you won't lose your balance. But if your pelvis moves as well, you'll find that it isn't possible to go down and come back up without losing your balance. The reverse camel. Unlike the previous camel, we'll be using the abdominal muscles this time rather than the sternum. Bend your knees and contract your abdominal muscles. Straighten your legs and keep your muscles contracted all the time. Only relax them when you've come back up. Bend, contract, come up and relax. Bend, contract, come up and relax. Bend, contract, come up and relax. Now we're going to try to join all 4 points of the movement without stopping, tracing a circle from back to front and then from bottom to top, down and in, and up and out. The more you practice doing this movement, the less you'll need to bend your knees. Shimmied camel. Notice how relaxed the pelvis and the torso should be. Stand up straight, with one foot flat and the other up on the ball of the foot. Push your torso out to do the camel and begin shimmying with just one leg. Change legs so that you work on both sides. Use the leg at the back at first, because this is much easier. Push your torso out and relax. Shimmy intensity. shimmy facing the front. Now work your knees. The more bent your knees are, the stronger the shimmying movement will be. The straighter your legs are, the less pronounced it is. Bend your legs and straighten them. You can introduce variations by pushing your pelvis out to each side and moving it backwards and forwards. Keep as relaxed as possible. At this stage, the most important thing is to hold your chest up, to keep your body straight and to relax. Travelling shimmy. Notice how relaxed the pelvis is and how isolated the movement is when the pelvis is completely relaxed. Go up onto the balls of your feet and relax your pelvis. Keep your feet firmly on the floor and move along, taking very small steps. Make sure that you keep your pelvis very, very relaxed. Hold your chest up and keep your abdominal muscles contracted. And relax. Shimmy, shimmy, relax. The knee action has a big effect on the shimmy. Relaxing one hip, both hips, the Oriental twist, abdominal stops, single backward steps, arm movements, series of hip movements in the air, sequence of hip movements, shoulder movements, and turns with a pause to the side. Steps to change legs. Double backward steps with hip drops. Oriental twist, turn and back shimmy sequence. Camel sequence with hip movements and outward turns. Arm stop. Backward shoulder rotation. Camel from the sternum. Shimmied reverse camel with abdominal stop. Backwards figure 8 followed by an upwards figure 8 and a Badi style jump. Camel from the sternum. Lead into a backwards figure 8. Series of arm movements. Downwards figure 8 followed by a sliding movement. Don't forget to bring your arms into play. Shimmy intensity. Shimmied camel. turn, and shoulder movement, and finish in a sitting position. Now it's over to you.